Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for stopping by for another real-time edit today. I have this lovely backlit blue wing warbler, and I think this is another one where the photo has potential, but it definitely needs some work to get to where I want it, which is to kind of have just like a black background. So anyway, first things first, we'll crop out all that junk at the bottom there, and I kind of like the space on this one. All right, so we're going to drop the exposure a little bit, definitely drop the highlights down so I can get the detail back in the this part of the leaves up there. I'll probably try and get more out of it later. And then we'll highlight shadows up, blacks down for contrast. And you know what I'm actually going to do? I think I'm just going to go pretty dark with this. I'll throw a little bit more magenta in there and warmth because that background was getting a little funky blue. So let's just go darker overall with this to kind of get into the realm of the background I want. And then I'll bring the bird up separate. So that's about where I want the background to be. So I'm going to open this up in Photoshop as a smart object because I want to actually tap into that raw file and use it on another layer here and get more detail out of the bird and a little bit more out of the plant there. So we'll go like that. I'm going to go too far with it because I don't think I'm going to need it that bright. That would probably look pretty absurd. But I'd rather have it too bright than have to add it in again. So the first step is going to be to mask this bad boy in there. So I'm going to try and get real precise here. And feel free to kind of fast forward through this part if you want, because this is going to be kind of boring while I just kind of figure out this mask and make it fit right in there. Thankfully, the bird is pretty clean here. He's not, I don't have a lot of crazy detailed edges or anything like that. I do have to work around this one flower petal right there, which is funny. I didn't even notice was in front of him until I zoomed in this far and started doing this part of it. But, yeah, the bird is at least kind of clean here, so I don't have a lot going on. Oh, that's his leg coming up there. All right, I do want the leg to glow. So we'll do it like that. I was like, what's this weird line coming out of the bird? Oh, wait, they have legs. All right. Get around that feather there. There's the other leg. We'll let that leg glow as well. Again, I totally recognize this way too far right now. And I'm not even going to go any further on that side because it wouldn't make sense for that side of the leg to glow since it's being blocked by the shrub or the little tree there that he's perched on, that little branch. All right. Not much more to go here. So, actually, if you were hanging in there with me, appreciate it. I don't know. Is it better to talk while I'm doing this, or is it better to just shut up and let you guys watch? I never know. I mean, because there's not much more for me to add thought wise with what I'm doing here. It's like just painting in the lines, basically. You know, like I'm a child, just trying to color in the lines here, not go outside the lines and do it properly. Maybe that's why I like all this so much, right? It's just like being a kid in a coloring book. I've always liked the like the digital side of all this stuff, like the manipulation kind of stuff. And if you've never heard the story, that's how I got into doing this in the first place. Was I just did the computer side of things. I didn't even want to shoot at first. Anyway, that's a story for another time. There we go. We got the bird masked out. Let's save this selection. And I also want to, I think I'm going to, I don't know about this lens flare. I like lens flares, but this one's, I don't know how much it's adding to this photo. Anyway, let's tweak this up a little bit and see if we can get this bird looking a little bit more natural in there. So I'm going to drop the shadows a little bit and the blacks a little bit here. I want to kind of contrast back up the bird, and let's see how that fits in now. That's better. Yeah, definitely. All right, the rest of the tweaking I can just do on my own here. So the other thing I want to do is actually just show more details in some of these areas. So just a little bit more hints of green in some of these areas, right? To just kind of highlight the cool little textures that are happening in here. But I don't want to go like that, right? I don't want this the head of this flower to be all bright. I kind of want the bird to be one of the brightest areas. I understand these highlights are always going to be brighter, but I'm actually going to see if I can get them to be even darker in just a bit. So in any case, right, just bringing out some real subtle details in this very cool plant, which one of these days I'll have to learn what the hell it actually is. All right, I'm going to duplicate that background layer that was dark again, and I'm going to go even darker with it. And let's see if I can get even more detail out of those areas. And since I know I'm only going to be painting in there, let's go more like red with it. A little bit warmer, a little bit more magenta, because it already has that reddish orange color to it. So let's go extreme with that, right? So now I can come in and paint it. See, that's the problem. This is what happens, right? I didn't underexpose these enough. Yeah, so that's not going to work. It's just looking gray. So instead, I'm going to have to just manually darken those. That's better. Yeah, yep. I just got to go with what's there and darken it, and watch. I'll add a little bit of red to that when I do it here, on this curve layer. So that way it kind of just richens up that color. See that? So that's something I see people do semi-often, is they try to recover highlights that are just too far gone, and then you get what you saw a little bit ago, right? That funky gray look, and it just does not look good. So just be aware of that. All right, let's finish up the background here. So the background, I want to go, there we go, black. Maybe not quite that far. We'll go right in there with it. All right, we'll get it off of the bird. So that was easy. And then I'm not going to try and be precise here, but I'm just going to kind of just bring some easy details back on this plant in the areas that I want. All right, so it's, for me, this image is all about this cool graphical representation of this plant. It's just got really neat shapes to me. It's almost, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's cool. Okay, we'll just go with that. All right, now we're gonna tweak up the bird a little bit more here. Try and get him to pop just a little bit more. And again, I'm gonna use that selection I have, so we'll get the bird to just show a little bit more there. Then I do need to take the blacks back down on him. Let's see. There we go, something like that. Just add some of that in. We're like losing contrast on some of these areas in the back. Oh wait, I forgot to kind of fade these legs in a little bit here. Just now seeing that. There we go. And then let's see if we can get a little catch light in there. There's a little something showing right now, kind of right through the middle there. So I'm just going to kind of punch that up a little bit. I'm going to change that blend mode to luminosity so it doesn't make for a weird color. And then I'm also going to just enhance that light coming through the bill there. And then, gosh, I think we're looking good. Although I got to say, I think I can go even lighter with this bird. Let's see, which one did it? This one? Yeah, let me just see if I can go even more. I think it can tolerate it, is what I'm getting at. Yeah, there we go. Nice. And then I kind of like just that little indication of the lens flare coming through the background there. Last thing is I'm seeing a little bit of green coming in on the bird there. So we'll just drop some magenta in there. Just load up that selection and hit, not on the breast, it's mainly just on the back side here in that yellow that I'm seeing it. And then I think there's too much yellow saturation on the back, because that's not really how yellow the back of that bird is. It also, you know what it is? It's too light. That's the problem. So let me actually fade that out and let it get closer to, there we go, right, closer to the background. It needs to just fade in with that. That looks more natural. There we go. So there's still separation there, but still natural. Okay, I think this one is done. So from total before to after. Well, that's not total before. That's just Photoshop before. So I'll show you the total before in a second. All right. If you want to learn more about what I did right there, head on over to rayhennessy.com. Go on over to the workshop section, and then you can also check out the online workshops to see a little bit more about working with me on this kind of stuff. All right, let's see if this save is done. Looks like we got it back in Lightroom here, and we'll compare it to the complete original. Little bit different there, huh? So this is a shot. I should have underexposed this more. I'm guessing I didn't do enough. Yeah, I only did one stop. I should have easily been 2 stops under, if not more. But thankfully, it was, I'm guessing, shot, yeah, somewhat at a low ISO. I also should have been at 200 or 100 ISO there to give me even more dynamic range. But um, this is the vision I had for the shot. This is the direction I wanted to go with it. It's kind of how it looked when I was there, staring into this just black background of shaded trees. And so thankfully I was able to push this file and get it to where I wanted. So there you go. There's the final image, just like that. You can see now my background isn't 100% black because you can actually see the edges of the photo, but I think that's fine in this circumstance. I could push it all the way to straight black, but I kind of feel like if I went straight black on this one, since I started with such a light exposure, it's just not going to quite work. Whereas if I had started with a darker exposure, it probably would. So anyway, thanks so much for watching this real-time edit. Hope you guys enjoyed this one and got something out of it. See you on the next one.